Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at the4Seam.com, and as promised I am here today to show you how to create an excellent sales page. So your sales page is essentially, think of it like your shop, okay? So you have your greater storefront, but the sales page is when someone walks through the door of your shop. That's where imagine a brick and mortar shop and they've picked up the product and the salesperson comes over to tell them about the defining details and the features of that product. So that's what I want you to imagine in your mind as you're creating this sales page. I want you to create it as if you were a salesperson having a conversation with the customer who's holding your product, okay? So the very first and most important element of the sales page is going to be your title, because if you don't create a searchable title, no one can find your product. That's like opening up a shop but not having an address. So we want to make sure that we use keywords that accurately describe your product, and the easiest way to do that is if you were searching for this item, what would you type into the search bar? So the second most important facet, which I could easily argue would be the first, except there's no way to search for this, are the photos. There's no way around it. You have to take excellent photos. The best way to get excellent photos is to take your product photos in the natural light. You don't want to do that when it's very bright outside or cloudy. There's something called the magic hour in the land of photography, and that is first thing in the morning or in the late afternoon. So like between 3 and 5 p.m. I think they actually call it the golden hour, but I call it the magic hour because everything looks amazing. And it's actually 2 hours between 3 and 5 p.m. And if you have bad weather, just schedule those photos for another day. It's worth it to wait. So the photos, if they were searchable, would be the number one most important aspect of your listing. But because you cannot search the photos, we're going to make that number 2. So take excellent, excellent photos. Then you want to, in that block of text there, where I'm going to show you here, you're going to want to have that conversation that I talked about. And you're going to, in the very first sentence, you're going to need to include the keywords from your title in a logical order so they make sense, and the function and the features of your product. So an example of that would be this listing that I have here. Let's go back and look at my title, which is Camera Strap Cover with Lens Cap Pocket. Okay, so those first few words of the title hold the highest ranking with the search engines. So you need to make sure that you're clearly stating what your product is in those first few words. But then you can go on to include those defining features. So what is a primary defining feature in my listing is custom made to order with monogram, and then I tell them who or how this product is used. So it's for DSLR cameras, digital photography. It would be used by a photographer, and then it makes a unique personalized gift. So I got a lot of value in that title and a lot of different angles which people can search for my product. Then when you get down here in the details, you have to take the most important elements of that title, and weave it into that first sentence. This is like you're walking up on the customer. You have to greet them with something that's going to capture their attention so that you're not just blown off and they don't hear anything you say. So I would tell them, if they're holding my camera strap cover, each strap cover is custom made to order. Did you notice the lens pocket? It's designed to thread over your existing camera strap to add comfort and style. So that's in one sentence. I gave them lots of little bits to bite off, because you don't know exactly why they're shopping for this. It could be that it's a gift. It could be that they actually need something to offer them comfort. They could have seen somebody wearing it and they thought that was a great style. So you want to hit them from as many different angles as you can in that first sentence. The title doesn't read like a sentence. That first line of your details paragraph needs to read like a sentence. Hope that makes sense. And the other two essential items here are to let them know any options. Like, for example, they can choose their fabrics with my listing and I can personalize it. Then it's essential to include the measurements of your product, and then you want to wrap up with the defining details. Okay, now the details, go ahead and take this opportunity to evoke some emotion. So here's my example. Expertly crafted and finely finished to fetch compliments from friends and strangers alike. Now you can probably take that sentence verbatim and use it in your listing no matter what you're selling. And then specific to this product, I let them know that it's lightly padded for maximum comfort during longer shoots. So this creates a visual in their mind of friends and strangers paying them compliments, of their neck being comfortable, of perhaps of taking a long vacation or great adventure, of being booked on an extended photo shoot. And then I wrap up with the monogram lens pocket. Allows you to keep your cap close at hand and quickly identify your camera in group settings. So in that last closing sentence, I solved two problems for them. So this is an example of what I would label an excellent detail statement. I have included all of the facets of my product. I've paid them compliments. I've evoked emotion. The more you make and the more feedback you get from your customers, you're going to really be able to personalize and refine your listings. But to start out, I would suggest using this format. Now, when you are setting up your details page, you want to be absolutely certain that you don't have any spelling errors. You're trying to convince somebody that you are paying attention to detail and you're an excellent craftsperson. If you have a sloppy spelling error in there, you're going to lose them. So proof it several different times to make sure that you don't have any errors. That's really, really key and will take your listing from amateur to pro. So make sure that you're proofing that. And if you have a friend or a spouse or someone who wouldn't mind proofing for you, that is a great backup. Now, there's a little feature inside of the listing. We don't have a lot of ways to create visuals in that detail segment. Like if you were designing a web page or something, you could use bold and you could use color and you could use italics and things like that. So a few little tricks that I have that kind of break up that listing page so that you don't lose their attention and you hold their attention, that I wanted to point out here are the little brackets here, or arrows. I call them less than and greater than symbols, but you can see those there on my screen, and those frame out my item title, so that catches their attention. Then I use 3 dashes here like bullets because they don't offer us bullet points in the listings, to offset the 2 major options there with this product. You can see if you step back and look at this page, I use a double spacing in between there, and it flows very nice. So you don't want to run all of this together in one paragraph because there's nothing to catch their eye. It really is essential to put that white space in there for them, okay? It's also a very essential element in your listing. Tags, much like the title, are a way for people to find you and search for your product. So you definitely want to include tags that answer the who, what, where, when, why, how questions of your products. But make sure one of those tags is your brand name or shop name, because as you build a following, people will just search for your products by your brand name or shop name. So mine in this case is Watermelon Wishes, and I have that right there. And then custom, if your item's custom. Mine's for use with a camera, specifically a digital camera. It's padded, has a lens pocket, it's monogrammed, personalized. It actually is a camera strap cover. You would use it with a DSLR camera. It's for photography, people interested in photography, or a photographer, and it is related to a camera strap. So I've included that there in the tags. So that's what I have in regards to creating a great sales page. This is a process that keeps it clean, simple, and still lets you really meet all of those elements of selling, just as if you would do, we're selling to someone in person. So as always, if you have any questions at all, just send me an email and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I am here to help you. I'm more than happy to proof your sales page for you and make suggestions. So if you want to go ahead and set up a listing and then send me the link, I will take a look at that and get back to you with some suggestions right away. So in the next video, I am going to go over all the elements of the Etsy dashboard, which I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that, but there are a lot of great features here, and then they go in and there's so many different facets of this that I'll go over, and I'll just show you what the most important features of that are. And then the longer you spend working in that interface, the more things you'll come across. But I want to make sure you're aware of the essential features and how to use that. So that'll be our next segment in this workshop. Until then, have a beautiful day, and please let me know if you have any questions.